Hi, I'm Julie Marie, and I'm so excited because I'm here in the Protective Diet Test Kitchen in San Diego, California. We relocated from Chicago, Illinois to the tortilla capital of the United States. I'm so excited to bring you the tortillas that we found to be the best. Jerry and I tasted all the tortillas, all the fresh corn tortillas from all the tortillerias in San Diego. We even went to a convention in Las Vegas, the National Tortilla Convention, and Lilly brand tortillas came up to be the best. They baked into the best chips, they made the best enchiladas, best tostadas, so we're providing them for you. You can order them, we'll ship them across the United States directly to you from San Diego, California. So if you're working with them fresh and you get them out of the mail, and you have fresh tortillas, you can place them down on a cutting board. I just want to show you how to bake them into baked tortilla chips because I perfected this recipe with the perfect bake temperature, 380 degrees. Make sure your oven is preheated all the way up to that temperature using an oven thermometer if you have one. If you're having challenges getting these tortilla chips to be perfectly crispy. Cut your tortillas in half and then into thirds for perfect tortilla chips. Layer them onto an unlined baking sheet individually. You don't want them overlapping. If they're overlapping, then they won't get nice and crispy. But the best way I like to bake my tortilla chips is from frozen tortillas. These tortillas have 0 preservatives. They're made of corn, water, and lime. That's it. So you want to preserve them in the freezer. So I have my tortillas in the freezer. And when you order these tortillas from us, they come in 2 different sizes. There's mini tortillas that are perfect for making mini tostadas, or you can bake them up whole as chips, or the full size, as you see here. And when I'm using the mini tortillas, the best way to get them separated is to take them out of the freezer fully frozen. You don't want to defrost them before you separate them, or you'll have a challenge separating them. Take a knife, it could be a smaller knife than this one, and separate them just by popping them apart, just like that. It's really simple. Now if they start to defrost, pop them back into the freezer because the frozen tortillas separate really easily. When they start to defrost, it's not as easy. And you can place these straight on your baking sheet as mini tostadas, just like this. Or you can break them in half or into thirds and make chips. Now with the baked tortillas, my favorite chips are from frozen chips because they get even flakier when they're pre-frozen. So separate the baked tortilla chips and break them into quarters and place them on the baking sheet. This is going to give you your flakiest chip versus using fresh tortillas. The freezing step makes them even flakier. Then when they're frozen like this, they have a little bit of moisture to them. I'm going to fill up this pan because there's no sense in baking tortilla chips without a full pan. And then salt them. This is optional. If you're just starting out on a protective diet, I suggest salting your chips. If the last chips you ate were salty fried chips, at least salt them until you get used to healthier tasting foods and low sodium foods. They're still going to be lower in sodium, you salting the tops, than the ones you bought in the bag. So we can transition slowly so that you have food satisfaction. Without food satisfaction, you're not going to stick to a protective diet. And my goal is for you to practice a protective diet long term and sustain the practice to optimal health. So then after we salt them, we're going to mist them with a fine spray bottle of water. And be sure after you're done using this water bottle to empty it out and allow it to dry and refill it with fresh water every time you make your chips. Now the ones that were frozen are moist from the freezer. So all we have to do is salt them. We can skip the spray bottle step. I'm gonna put these into the oven for 18 minutes at 380 degrees. Now when I make these, I make several batches. So I'm gonna put these into the oven. And then I have 2 more baking sheets that I'm gonna layer up. And that next batch may only take about 17 minutes. So keep an eye on them as your oven starts to get warmer and warmer and you're using it longer, because it'll start to brown your chips. These chips are excellent even if they get a brown tone to them. They're delicious. So I want to show you the finished product. These are the baked tortilla chips. And this one is one that was frozen and broken into a chip, and you can see it's nice and flaky. The pre-freezing and baking frozen makes this flakier chip. It's delicious. And then this one is one that was fresh from the tortilleria, never frozen, and you can see it's got a straighter edge to it. It's still nice and flaky and crispy, but I just prefer this more rustic chip. And serve them up with one of the Protective Diet salsas. This one is the salsa verde, or layer them up with the loaded nachos recipe. With Lilly brand corn tortillas and Protective Diet, now you can eat crispy tortilla chips all the way to optimal health. Take care. Best of health to all of you. I love tortillas. I'm so happy I moved to San Diego. Tortilla capital of the United States. Jerry?
What, Jody?
I love these.
I love these too.
Just a quick tip, when you're baking your tortilla chips, put your shelves so that they're spaced in your oven so you have nice airflow. And make sure that there's space on either side of the tortillas. I like to take the top tray and move it to the left, and the bottom tray and move it to the right so that the air circulates, leaving a little space on either side. This will make for really nice, crispy, even baked tortilla chips.